gonna sneeze.
All drippy. Ping! And straightens out.
Yeah, it gets stiff.
Yeah, dude. Ew. Gross. So climb aboard and sing along all of your hopes and dreams. It's a One Piece episode, baby. Welcome to Action Lag. I am your host, Neil.
And I'm Shane.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you heard it right, we're doing One Piece live action from Netflix. Just came out. We got 8 episodes of the pirate action adventure that has been based off of Ichiro Oda's manga, One Piece.
Yes, and myself, I have not seen the anime, whereas my good buddy Neil here has, and he'll be doing his take on it from that perspective as well. Whereas for me, it's just a fresh take from someone who has not. So it'd be interesting to see the differences in our reviews.
All right, Shane, from a guy who has not watched the original anime, I want you to give us a nice plot synopsis of what this TV show is.
Spoiler free, I would say it's about a young boy slash man. I'm not really sure how old he is. I don't think it says it in the show, does it?
I mean, like in the anime, he's like 17, but in
Okay.
this show, I would like to say he's like upper teens, early 20s.
Right. But anyway, it's about a boy slash man slash kid man boy. That's his name's Luffy, and he is very passionate about becoming a pirate or being a pirate. And when he was a kid, he got a hold of some fruit. It's called the devil fruit, and all different kinds of devil fruits give different powers. Some other pirates have eaten them before, and they have a big pro and a big con. The pro is you get some random power. The con is you cannot swim, which is seemingly terrible for a pirate.
Right? I mean, like everywhere you go is ocean, so
yes.
That's a pretty shitty thing to not be able to have.
And while simultaneously getting, bits and pieces of backstory of Luffy throughout the show, you're also seeing him in modern times assembling his crew to pursue this treasure. To pursue this treasure that's known as the One Piece. And he is wanting to find this One Piece because whoever does will become the king of the pirates. So that
actually is a pretty good synopsis there, man.
That is the gist of the show to me.
I think you got it exactly right of what this show and what the manga and what One Piece is all about, right? It's the adventure. We don't know what the One Piece is. We probably will never know. At least not in this Netflix adaptation. But I'll tell you what, it's about the journey and the friends you make along the way. At least that's what I like to think.
That is the one.
Tell you what, this is a good show. Follows Luffy around, meets up his whole crew of Straw Hat pirates. We get 5 characters. Who we got? We got Luffy, the captain, our first mate, Roanoa Zoro, he's like a swordsman. And then we have our cat burglar / navigator. We have Nami, played by the beautiful Emily Rudd.
Very beautiful.
Have Usopp, our sniper / storyteller. That guy doesn't really tell a lot of truth. He's kind of a liar. Then we have finally Sanji, who is our cook / suave Rico Suave character.
Since we're on the topic of naming characters, I do want to ask you, who's your favorite character?
My favorite Straw Hat?
Your favorite character in the live action, I'll say. I mean, you obviously, you know a lot more characters since you've seen the anime and read the manga and stuff. But live action, who's your favorite?
Live action, who I think portrayed the character the best is the guy who played Zoro. And
but is he your favorite?
Is he my favorite in the show? Yeah, why not? Screw it. Yeah, I mean, like, he portrayed the character the best. He has a lot of badass lines. I mean, like, they don't pull any punches with Zoro. I mean, like, first couple shots of him, you know that he is not a guy to be messed with.
Right.
So yeah, I would say that Zoro is completely, they nailed his character perfectly. I mean, everybody does a really good job playing their characters respective to like the actual source material, but I think Zoro just like completely nails it. Like, he is like straight off the page Zoro.
Right. I think my favorite character based on just live action, obviously since I haven't seen the anime, is I think it's Sanji.
Dude,
And
yeah, Sanji.
I'd say for 3 reasons why he's my favorite. One is he's funny how he like thinks he's a ladies' man, but every woman turns him down. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
And 2, he likes to cook, and me myself, a little bit about me, people who don't know now. I like to cook in real life, so I mean it's just cool seeing a chef pirate. And the third reason is because he just kicks ass with his legs. He just like
So
kickboxes the shit out of people, and it's fucking dope.
yeah, I don't know if they tell you about this in the story of why he fights with his legs. It's not really mentioned, but like in the anime, the reason why he doesn't fight with his hands is because he wants to keep his hands in good condition for cooking. He wants to make sure that his utensils are still being able to be used, and he'd be able to cut and do like the intricate movements of cooking. So that's why he only fights with his feet. Very
I think there
breakdancer.
was one point in the show, I'm pretty sure he was kicking the shit out of someone while he had his hands in his pockets.
Yeah, he does that a lot in the
It
anime,
was
man. I
it
mean,
was
he's
pretty
got
cool.
he is
That's
very steezy.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. You know, that just reminded me. I'm definitely gonna have to get you that Sanji cookbook that I saw, man. They got a couple cookbooks where he
Oh, they have a
makes.
cookbook?
Yeah, dude, he's got a cookbook. So
Oh,
definitely
wicked.
gonna get you that for Christmas.
Dude, that'd be sick.
Yeah,
I'll
man. Check it out.
definitely make a couple of courses out of
Yeah,
it.
hell.
But from my take, someone who hasn't seen the anime, I think the acting of these characters were all done really well too. That's
Yeah. What is
probably
it?
that's probably one of my pros because when I think of live action adaptations of anime, I automatically think it's going to be cringe. Like I set the bar low of my
Oh yeah.
expectations.
I
That
mean, I
way, I'm
mean,
not disappointed. But this one was actually good. I thought their acting was not cringy at all. So,
I would
except for
agree.
maybe one guy.
I would agree. I would agree. A lot of live action anime adaptations right now have been pretty bad. Cowboy Bebop, I fucking hate that one. Is one of the worst adaptations I've ever seen. Oh god, it's so bad. But no, this one is awesome. I mean, they do just enough to where you can suspend your disbelief and be like, okay, yeah, this world exists, right?
Hmm.
It feels real. It doesn't feel goofy and fake, and it doesn't feel like all the characters are hammed up. There are a couple
Right.
goofy couple characters, but you know that's how One Piece is. If you've ever seen like the character designs of like characters in One Piece, they are just straight up like nightmare fuel. If they actually brought that stuff to life, it would look ridiculous. So I'm glad that they did take a little bit of
Hmm.
leniency, made the characters look a little bit more realistic. But yeah, this is a great adaptation. I mean, this sets the bar for anything else that comes out after it.
Hmm.
Like if you're making an anime adaptation, I would say check out One Piece, the live action, and use that as your reference.
And I have a couple other pros that I think were good about the anime, or not anime. I'm sorry, the live action
Yeah.
that aren't. They're not really. Actually, they're not at all spoilers. Is since we're on the topic of characters, I think character development seems to be going at a good pace, especially if they plan on doing multiple seasons, which they probably are. Uh, but yeah, I think the way the characters are developing are going on nicely. So
Yeah, I mean,
it doesn't
so
seem like anything's rushed, or it doesn't seem like anything's confusing because they're not telling enough. Like it's going at a good pace.
yeah, it is a good pace, considering how much they actually skipped. I mean, they go through 5 arcs in anime to get to
Hmm.
the end of the Arlong Park arc. There's like 5 different arcs, and then each arc is like a how they meet the character, and they pretty much did it like episode by episode, which is pretty good. And I'm surprised how well the pacing like worked and how much they covered so quickly. They even filtered in a little bit of extra stuff from it, like in the background that you wouldn't think that is technically going on, but like you don't find out until later in the
Hmm.
anime and in the manga. Like the whole arc with what's his name, Garp. Yeah, with the whole arc with Garp with and Kobe and all of that, that's all going on at the same time. I feel like they used that very well to like have the pacing continue on from episode 1 to episode I believe 8. And you can really feel like time has gone by with these characters as well. They start to really open up to each other. They start to act like a crew the longer they're with each other. And you're right, 100%. That the character development is there. It's a very well thought out and fleshed out.
Mm-hmm. And like I don't have too much good of judgment on it, but since I haven't seen the anime, but I've been told about the anime that there's lots of filler, which I mean it makes sense for a show that has over 1,000 episodes out or 1,100, whatever it is, and it seems to me that I think you mentioned about the live action. They've done maybe what'd you say it was like 60 episodes worth of anime into the live action?
So it's like up in like 40 to 60 episodes,
Right.
yeah.
Well, considering they crammed that much into the live action, it doesn't feel like they skipped anything. That's
Right.
another,
Yeah,
the overall story is easy to follow, and I like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Like if they did cut out a bunch of filler stuff, they did it really well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So,
And they got just the right beats. They did skip a couple villains. But the villains in that they did show like Buggy and Arlong, amazing characters.
mhm,
And the Butler dude from Usopp's episode as well. They're amazing characters, and they got all of those characters right.
mhm.
And I think that plays well with because they had Ichiro Oda pretty much on call whenever they had a question, right? He was the executive producer. If they had anything, they always ran it by him because it's his vision, it's his world, and
Oh,
they're
I'm
just
sure that's probably why it wasn't bad then,
right. Yeah, I mean, I hope that they do that with all of the original writers, right? They get them on board so they can make a really truly great piece of film. And
And I hope
they
future live
succeeded.
actions take notes for real, because
Yeah,
like
right.
this show is pretty good.
Can we get a Samurai Champloo live action? That would be sick.
Or Hellsing.
Helsing would be amazing live
Oh
action.
my
Oh my
god,
god.
it'd be so good.
Yeah.
But another thing about characters though I think is pretty good in this show is their makeup and costumes and all that. I think all that's done really well too.
Dude, the Fishmen.
Yeah, the fishmen look great.
Yeah, the Fishmen
Except
look
I will
wonderful.
say there's one part of the makeup slash costume department I thought was not that good,
What?
and it was Arlong's nose.
Oh, you didn't like it?
It
I thought it could be
it
longer.
looks like a cock, bro.
I thought it could have been longer.
Like the fucking sides of the nose, right, are the balls, and then
Oh
you
my
got
god.
this thick chode shaft up a fucking, the long part of the nose. It's like I wonder if he uses it for that. Like
Maybe.
he's like, baby, yeah, come touch my nose. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze.
All drippy. Bing! And strains out.
Yeah, it gets stiff.
Yeah, dude. Ew. Gross.
Yeah, dude, but I don't think his nose looks that good. The rest of his
Yeah.
makeup looks good, but his
He's
nose,
supposed to be like a swordfish or some like
I
type of
just
fish.
I just caught myself every time he would come on screen, like no pun intended.
Well, you're not gonna see
That
him anytime soon.
yeah, I just kept thinking that his nose looked like a dick and balls, man.
Well, if you liked his nose, man, I just wish they would have committed with Usopp's because his nose is ridiculous.
Mm. Yeah, Usopp.
Yeah, man.
He's a character I actually didn't like.
You didn't like Usopp?
No. Because if we're talking a couple pros and cons here, one of my cons is Usopp. I don't like him very much.
You don't like Usopp? I thought he was okay. I mean, the guy it's a hard
Well,
character to work with. It's a hard character
it's
to
not
like. He
it's
doesn't
not the
show
actor,
until way later. He doesn't do cool shit until way later.
right?
But yeah,
Well,
Usopp's
that's probably why I don't like him. 'Cause like I said, I haven't seen the anime, so I mean, he might get cool later. But having just seen this live action, to me, Usopp feels like he's useless.
he's the
Like,
only normal one.
I don't
Like
think he's that funny.
really any powers.
He doesn't. Yeah, he's not really good at combat. And I hate how he tries to steal the spotlight as like he tries
I
to be the
did.
captain, and he lies to everyone about how he's so great.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't like him.
See the actual character, you'd get it because his nose is long like Pinocchio's.
But
right?
it just,
Big, long...
it just felt like while I was watching it, like it just felt like he didn't fit in. You know, like he shouldn't be a pirate because he's not good at it.
Yeah, he's gonna have to find himself. He does kind of like find himself later on in the show, but he is definitely kind of like the comic relief, not serious character at all, and he doesn't do any of the real fighting until later on. So you got to give him some time. He'll be cool later. But
Right.
yeah, he's kind of a boring character. I will give you that.
Yeah,
But
so
yeah,
far, at least in the live action, he just feels useless and boring.
yeah, but everything else is great. I mean, like I legit was smiling from ear to ear throughout watching this entire show. I enjoyed almost all of it. It's very hard for me to find like really nitpicky things to pick apart, you know? But
Mm-hmm.
other than that, like positive show.
Oh, for sure. And like the CGI was done so well, man.
Yeah, I mean they
I
most of this stuff practically, like all the boats and all of the set pieces were built practical. The
yeah,
only
that's really
things that they
cool.
really used for like CG is just, like the very far backgrounds, the water a little bit, and
Right.
definitely Luffy. Obviously
Yeah,
Luffy.
stretching and all that. But that didn't even look bad, you know. Like, that's another thing I was expecting to be bad in the live action was like the
Well,
CGI.
you got to compare it to like all the other stretchy characters like Fantastic Four. It's
Right.
hard for the character to stretch and look good, right? But I think they nailed it. They just enough disbelief where yeah, it's kind of fake, but you can believe it because he's made out of rubber.
A couple other things that were CGI that I thought looked really good was like the sea beasts. They looked cool.
Hell yeah.
What's his face? Mihawk, the giant sword dude. When he split that ship in half, that looked fucking cool. Like it looked good.
Oh yeah.
Lots of CGI that was done well, whereas I was expecting it to not look
Dude,
well.
speaking of
So
Mihawk, do you want to talk about that guy for a second? Now hold on. Now I kind of want to change my answer now to who I like the most because Mihawk was awesome.
yeah, if I had
Right?
a very close second favorite, it would have been Mihawk.
Yeah, dude.
He's just fucking cool, man.
Has one of the coolest lines in the whole show.
And I like how he's not really a good guy or a bad guy. He's just he just does what he wants.
See, man, he can do whatever he wants. People listen.
Right.
People don't mess around with the Mihawk.
Oh yeah. The size of the sword is a bit much, though. I will say.
Oh yeah, he's
They could have toned it down a little. I
yeah,
mean, he could still have a big old sword, but I mean that thing was kind of excessive.
it's pretty big in the anime. I think they did a pretty good job like replicating it, but I
Right?
find it
No, I mean in an anime that's one thing,
use
but
it very often.
a live action sword that big, you got to be a little realistic and make size it down a little.
Yeah, for sure. I prefer the little bitty knife that he uses, the dagger.
Yeah, when he duels Zoro,
Yeah, that's the type of knife I like.
he was all upset that he was fighting him with that.
Yeah, he's like, I would not hunt rabbits with a cannon.
Yeah, it was just badass
Yeah,
quote
these
for
are
sure.
cool lines, bro.
Do you wanna talk spoilies?
Yeah, let's talk a little spoilers. I mean, we've already
Okay.
kind of dipped into it a little bit. Sorry,
Okay.
guys.
I mean, we haven't been too spoily yet. There's a couple of things I do
Alert.
want to talk about that are a little spoily. So, I would say skip the
Spoiler
next
alert.
skip.
Spoiler alert. We are now discussing spoilers. If you do not like the spoilers, skip. If you haven't already skipped already.
Make sure they know they're spoilers.
There are spoilers happening right now, everyone. Spoilers are happening right now. We're talking spoilers. Watch
Okay.
out. Spoilers.
One of the cons about the show for me is a
Okay.
spoiler. It's a pretty big spoiler, actually. Uh, we'll just get that one out of the way. Is the Vice Admiral Luffy's grandpa? I do not.
You bothered by that?
No. The fact that he's his grandpa is not what's the con for me. I think in the last episode, whenever he's talking to Luffy, and then he just flip of a coin completely changes his mind. He is proud of, or not, necessarily proud, but he's okay with Luffy being a pirate now. Whereas the whole entire rest of the show leading up to that point, he's been so against it, and he's just randomly like, Okay, I was just testing you, Leafy. I see you really want to be a pirate, so I'm okay with it.
Well,
It just felt very sudden and forced, so it felt random.
yeah. So that's
I
the
didn't
guy
like that.
never seen the anime.
I
Really, that
liked.
whole
I,
like arc is about Garp testing Luffy, making sure that he is strong enough to get across the Grand Line and actually become King of the Pirates, right?
right,
So he
but
tries
I
to
liked the idea of
throw
his grandpa
shit his
chasing
way.
after him.
But
You know,
what I like about it is that they actually fleshed that out, and they kind of turned him into like the overcurring villain. Necessarily, he's not really a villain, but he's the antagonist to Luffy with the fear of being caught by the military, right? But I love that they gave him that arc and gave a little bit more backstory of his training with Kobe and Helmeppo. Right, because that shit is just thrown in the background. You really don't see those two characters after Luffy leaves him on the island in the anime. He comes back and like he looks like a completely different person, right?
mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that they're fleshing that stuff out in the actual live action. They're giving the growth that those characters deserve, and they're filling in time, right? They're giving Garp more prevalence and before the Grand Line, and I like that. I disagree.
Like I said, I just like the idea of his main pursuer and slash antagonist being his grandpa. I
Yeah,
thought
I like
that had potential to have, like, a good long constant pursuer after him being his grandpa, and then they just ended that real quick at the end of the first season.
Yeah, well, there's going to be plenty of other people that are going to be chasing after Luffy. Trust me. Now that he's got a bounty on his head, people are going to be coming after him.
Right. And I mean, we pretty much covered all my pros of the show earlier, pre-spoilies. But one of the big cons for me, though, like I was saying earlier, is I think there could have been more action in the show, or at
More
least,
action?
yeah, or at least to be specific, I think the action that was in the show didn't last long enough, or it wasn't intense enough. And I think that Luffy, he could have used his abilities more often. I feel like
Yeah,
we didn't see Luffy do as much as I wanted him to
he
do.
does like one or two gum pistols. Like
Right.
he does a gum Gatling, the battle axe, then the balloon. But like, I thought he was going to use them a lot more.
I
For sure.
think he does three cool moves in the whole show. Two of the three are at the very end of the first season, so I mean, you don't really get to see those till the end of the season.
Yeah.
And then the other third one was just kind of thrown in the middle randomly, and that's
Uh-huh.
whenever he inflates like a balloon and he shoots the cannon back at his grandpa. Like,
Yeah, the gum balloon.
yeah, that one was cool too. And then, like I said,
Pretty
the
goofy.
Gatling and the battle axe, those were at the very end. So I mean,
Yeah,
could have seen Luffy do more. That's what I.
But here's probably why I think that they kind of like kept it a little like spare and a bit far and in between is because like the more you show Luffy using those goofy ass stretchy powers, the harder it is to convince that it's real, right? So
Yeah,
maybe
I
that's
guess.
probably why they kind of like were like, yeah, we'll just let him punch a couple dudes, and every so often he'll do the stretching.
Yeah, and I just feel like the action that we got, like I said, I didn't think it was really intense enough to the point where every altercation, it felt obvious that the protagonist were gonna,
Right.
like I want it to be more intense, and you're on the edge.
Yeah, for sure.
Those were big cons for me.
Uh,
And earlier I said I don't like Usopp. I think
yeah.
another character that I don't like for similar reasons is Kobe.
You don't like Kobe? I thought he
I
was
don't like
alright.
Kobe. He just feels, like I said, like for Usopp, I think Kobe feels out of place. Like, does that kid look like a fucking Marine?
No, that's the whole
Come on, bro.
I mean, if you knew the source material, man, you'd be like, that was an amazing portrayal because he is a snivelly, whiny, little boy
Right.
man.
So
Doesn't really.
why does the vice admiral like him so much and want to train him, and like why is he even a fucking Marine? Like he does
Just
not seem like the fit.
that's for you to wait and see, dude. Just trust me on that one. That's one you need to wait and see when his character development in the
Right.
actual source material is pretty wild. So just wait and see. Hopefully we'll see the new Kobe. I doubt that they have the same person playing Kobe because his change is drastic. Like, and the whole point is that he looks like a completely different person later on. So we'll
and
see.
I will say for anyone listening, I will remind you for the probably 17th time, I have not seen the anime. So don't judge my judgment.
Does this show?
I'm basing it off of just the live action. So
yeah. Does this show make you want to watch the anime?
I mean, it does, but there's just still that long-standing reason why I won't, and because the anime is too
Super
long.
long.
Yeah, it's just too long.
Yeah. Well, if you
And
guys,
and
anyone
as
does watch the anime and they're like Shane, they haven't seen the anime, you don't want to watch all 1100 episodes, I would recommend checking out One Pace on the internet. It is One Pace. You just Google that. And it's a cut down fan edited version of the show. And it cuts out about 40% of the runtime. But it follows like strictly like the manga panels and shit. So you're missing out on all of that like bloated like extra anime shit,
like the
that they do.
fillers and
They don't
stuff.
catch up to the source material. They bloat the shit out and draw it out. They cuts it down real nice and confined. And if you want to check out that, check out One Pace. If you do want to watch the anime and you feel
Not even sponsored, by the way.
yeah, not sponsored by us, whatever. Just if you're a fan of the show, check it out.
But yeah, I think I'm a person that who watches anime. I'm really not a fan of filler episodes in any anime.
Well, it's not even filler episodes. It's like filler arcs, bro. Because there's only 10% filler in One Piece, right? But
right, I mean, a filler arc is still filler.
Don't matter.
If it doesn't matter, it's filler. So
like, there's arcs that don't really matter. And they're cool, and it like spreads out the world and all that. But yeah, you could go like whole arcs and miss shit.
I mean, I know true filler would be like if Luffy, got stranded on an island for a day, and he like befriended a crab.
Yeah.
Like if you have a whole episode about that, that's obviously filler. But
yeah, for sure.
yeah, I'm just not a fan of that stuff. So, and with 1100 episodes, I'm sure I would run into quite a few of them that I won't like. So
right,
that's the only reason I haven't watched.
All right, broski, I gotta know, what are we rating this show?
Overall, I would probably give it. I mean, first of all, I would definitely recommend you watch the live action. It was very entertaining and enjoyable. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would probably give it like a solid 8.
An 8 out of 10, huh?
An 8 out of 10.
Okay.
And I think it would probably be a 10 out of 10 if they would fix a couple of the cons that I mentioned earlier in the episode. But like I said, a couple of those cons, though, they were also coming from, someone who's only seen the live action, whereas this stuff probably does get fixed later. So, but yeah, I'd give it an 8. I'd recommend it. Pretty good.
8 out of 10. That's a pretty good score, man. I would say I would give this an 8. Well, you know what? We'll go with the 8. I agree with you. What I do think that this is the best live action adaptation of anime that's ever existed.
That's also why I give it an 8.
I give it an 8 for that alone right there.
It's because I like I said earlier, I set my bar really low of expectation, and they hit way above my bar. So
yeah, hit it right out of the ballpark. Definitely, if you're making a live action anime, this is a show you need to take notes on for sure. I would 100% recommend this. I would 100% binge it. I'd let your kids watch it. Maybe not like too young. I would say like 10, 11, maybe.
Oh yeah, I'd say at least preteen.
Preteen, teenage, tween area. There is some blood. There is a butt. Other than that,
wait, there's a butt?
Yeah, there's a butt.
Whose butt do you see?
Up of a dude's butt.
Whose butt?
Homepa. He takes Zoro's swords and he's like posing naked in front of the mirror.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, like other than that, if your kids can handle that, I would recommend this show for teens. No problem.
But yeah, I guess we'll cut the episode here, and I know this is a little bit shorter than the first episode, but it was also just singularly about a TV show versus our previous episode was a mix up between a video game and a movie, so it was a little bit longer. we're recording this episode now on October 1st. You won't be listening to it until at least November, when we get all 5 episodes done. And as mentioned in the earlier episode, that we're doing that way you guys can, binge a little bit if you want, and, get an idea of what we're doing here versus just having one episode out at a time.
So climb aboard and sing along all of your hopes and dreams.
All right, peace out, everybody.
Peace out.